So basically, we live. Man, when it come down to it, simple and plain, like, what are we doing for ourselves? A lot of people aren't rich because, honestly speaking, their parents wasn't rich. They don't know how to, they know how to save money. Everybody, to a degree, is taught how to save money. But how many people, to a degree, learns how to use the money to benefit them in a way to where they can make more money? Because actually putting your money in a savings account, you don't actually get that much interest off money in a savings account. You know, um, taking money and investing, we know the typical stuff like investing in stock, the new things, investing in crypto, you know, not investing in real estate, not investing in yourself by dealing with life insurance. The means they give more money, you know, everybody has to drive. That's why car rental places are bumping. And luxury cars even more due to the fact that people like to stunt on the gram. Airbnbs are popular. People gotta have somewhere to stay. That's why real estate is big. The markets, so you're being pushed to get into a market where it's like rolling the dice. There is no guarantee, trust me. There is no guarantee. Unless you have some type of inside trading, there's literally no guarantee in the stock market. You get in, you get out. I literally seen this video where the guy jumped in the market and did a stock options and put $100,000 out of his life insurance and put it into the market for stock options. He made 300,000 off of that 100. So he got his 100 back plus 300,000. How many people can do that? He said, he had $1 million policy. He took 100,000 out. So if he lost the money, literally his family is going to get $900,000, which they didn't know that they was going to get anyway. So to a point, man, he pretty much had things set up. And if he didn't hit anything, the worst he did was lost money he never really had physically in his hand anyway. But to an extent, which he hit, he made 300,000 more dollars. And took that 100 and put it back into his life insurance policy. Because it was a loan. It was a loan. But I mean, honestly speaking, man, it's all about the mindset. I mean, I literally was on a panel with a guy, and he was saying how his friend literally, his kids call him by his first name. It's like really don't respect him because he's sort of a deadbeat and not really there for his kids. And he asked him one day about it, and he was like, well, it was like normalized to him because that's how he looked at life, or that's how he was raised. And I asked the guy, I was like, honestly speaking, bro, you gonna literally let him use that excuse? And the other guy was like, well, it's a mindset you learn this and that. I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but at what point are we gonna stop making excuses because of what our parents did to us? We're so traumatized and we can't get over this and we gotta live our life in poverty due to, the excuse that our parents didn't teach us nothing. Yeah, you had a rough childhood. I had a rough childhood. You know, Statistically, I should have been in jail right now. Statistically speaking, growing up in a two-parent household, losing both of my parents, living with my grandparents, they're getting a divorce, You know, from the areas I grew up in, from apartments to suburbs, even worse than apartments. And there's places that get worse than apartments. I've been there. So literally throughout that, I've got to a level of maintaining home ownership, investments, you know, technically speaking, knocking on wood, as they say, I haven't went to jail for anything, more or less a speeding ticket, I went to court about. But other than that, that was it. Statistically speaking, I should have been the guy that goes to jail because of my upbringing from my family and my surroundings. But what did I do? I changed my outlook. I can literally tell you, my brothers done been to jail. I can literally tell you they done sacrificed their time for money. I did too as well. I sacrificed, but it wasn't to the extent to where I had to go sit down or, I learned early certain things have consequences. Everybody knows that. But I set it in my mind that if I was going to do something with myself, I couldn't be in and out of jail. I started young with a mindset, you know, I wanted to change some things because my other family members, they wasn't going through that. My extended family, my cousins and stuff. My aunt taught her kids finance because she went to school for accounting. All her kids have good, relations with money. They literally I have family members that save money and pretty much is debt free and they walking around, doing what they want to do. At ease. Something has an issue. I got a cousin, he literally any place he go, he signs up for a credit card. He literally went and got a card this weekend I was with him. They told him that they was gonna give him $1,000 credit limit for like a department store. He told them no thank you. And they were like, well, what's the problem? He's like, if it's $1,000, I don't want it. I literally spent close to $1,000 just on this one thing that I did. So if I, that's just not feasible for me. I'm good. The lady literally asked him, well, what price? I mean, what do you want to have your max to be? And his wife literally dropped her jaw, like, and he was like, I mean, I'm not gonna use 10, but at least 5,000. I mean, the minimum, because he already know he's gonna make them go up on it. He don't even probably use the card as much, but just to have that on his credit, you know, them giving him, a department store card with that much on it, like he he's actually did the proper maintaining of his, finances till it works for him. And that's the thing about the mindset. Compared to me growing up in my household, living with my grandma, she was a worker. She literally worked. She didn't go to school. After I think her highest education was middle school because they didn't have a high school in their area back in the day until you go to the big city. She's from the country. By the time her sister came in, who went to college, they had a high school just coming in there. So they built the high school. Sister went to high school there. Sister went to college and therefore taught her kids more. She was only limited to teach us by what she knew, you know. And I got a little few here and there tricks from my aunt when I come around and she would talk about stuff. But mostly, We went over there just had fun. You know, that was like the fun auntie. That's to this day, actually, she's my favorite aunt. You know, and when it comes down to it, like I say, man, it's the mindset. A lot of people make excuses for them not doing good in life. We could throw the race war in that too as well. I'm not where I'm at because of the man that's holding me down. To a degree, we have pretty much racism in a lot of stuff that goes on in America, a lot of stuff that we deal with. Yes, a lot of racism involved in most cases. But the mindset, there's no racism involved. That's just you. Understanding that, yeah, supremacy will hold you back from staying in a nice neighborhood if you don't have all the money because the maker's not going to loan it to you because they're racist. But literally, that mindset of you going out there and still applying for it due to you might get turned down, someone might say yes. That mindset of you saying, if they don't want to sell to me, then I'll find somebody who will. Or if you really like the place, get more money and just buy it. You know, you don't have to, there's literally so many ways to buy a house now. You can literally, sorry about that, but you can literally go through different crowdfunding sources that they will give you the cash to buy a house and give you probably even a lower interest rate than the bank would just to get your money. I know a guy, he gives loans on a crowdfunding site, and he has like a 80, I think he said 82%, return on his investment. And mainly because he stick to people that have great credit scores and that pay money back. And the most people defaulted on the loans was probably less than $500. So he's giving people 5,000. He's giving a couple of hundred, but the most people have defaulted on is $500. He had one person got all the way down to the last hundred, defaulted on $100. Setting the standards on the loan, how they're paying back the process, all this stuff for this crowdfunding. You have literally websites now that are giving you the option to buy a house through them and do at least the own purchase. The rate is going to be more each month, but you will have that house. And like I was saying, it's going back to the mindset, man. Like, even in your environment, you have some people that grew up in the slums. Literally, um, Tech G and Keep It Techie did a story on this guy. Think he's in his mid late 40s. I'm sorry, late 30s, early 40s or so. But the guy ended up getting a defense contract in tech with the government for damn near like 40 million or 38 million or something like that contract in tech. Guy went to the military, did some college, went to the military, got to a company, rode the wave on that one, dealt with another company and kept it going to where he's built his company to like one of the best tech companies and got this major contract with the government. This guy grew up in poverty. I think they say he grew up in Detroit, I believe. Real bad on most of these names and what the stuff because I skimmed over the article, listened to them, but majority say the least. This guy didn't grow up in Beverly Hills. This guy didn't grow up in the streets of Buckhead, where it's good in Atlanta. This guy wasn't in, you know, New York and, the now, which is the upscale Manhattan. You know, this guy grew up, you know, in the hood. He had a mindset to change his outcome. He went to college, wasn't working, went into the military. Military gave him a better benefit, and he took off from there. There are literally so many people on YouTube that come on here. I do it myself. I come to laugh, I come to joke. It's funny. But at the same time, I can't sit here and say that the man holding me down and all I'm doing is coming on here to be entertained. There's far more information people can be grasping to better their life than to sit here and just be entertained so much on the internet. Like, what is the structure of your life? What do you see yourself years from now? Still laughing at, people on here on the B side, still trying to, say that women aren't good, or still trying to say that men aren't good. Like, literally, nobody's forcing you to be with these women, just like with these men. A lot of women talk bad about men, but nobody's forcing them. When you go into that bad relationship, this man isn't handcuffing you. And, to a degree, when y'all get into it, most of these guys, they fall head over heels for women. Same thing for women. It's on both sides. But it's the mindset. Like, literally, you put yourself in that situation, but then you want help getting out of it. The mindset controls. To a degree, if you wanted $100 to, let's say, for the most people that on average they take trips and stuff, and they have to save for the trip. They go do all the overtime and everything they need to do to get the money to saved up to go to that trip, whether they gotta borrow it, do whatever, to get that money saved up to go to a trip. Why you can't do that with your life? Why you can't just make the sacrifice to make yourself better? The same way you can save for that trip to go to Vegas or go to Miami, which everybody go to South Beach and, be down there, get you a rental car. And honestly, South Beach, I mean, I don't, I think it's like but some people can hit South Beach, plane ticket for about 150. Sometimes they have tickets for $100. Go down there, got a hotels. Hotels are popping. They like $200. Decent hotel. You're not trying to get no something that's, I mean, at least 250. You get anything around $100, then you start getting into the effects of how safe it is over there. How good is the deal? Is it too good to be true? Take that money and go to Jamaica for a couple of days. Because most people tend to just go on a weekend anyway. They might take off on that Friday, and there you go. Ah, but yeah, mindset, man. You gotta get over this. You literally gotta get over this. Changing your environment helps. A lot of people who change their environment helps more with their outcome. If you're in a situation to where, you know, hey, things are not going right for me, change your environment. You don't have to go to another state. You can literally just move from the area that you stay in. You know, I moved to a whole new area, and the outcome of my kids changed. I said that before when I used to move furniture. Told people all the time, if you literally want a better future for your kids, you gotta move benefiting the kids first to school. When you're looking for a house, you look for several houses. We always have this mindset of finding the perfect house that fits our needs, but then we don't think about the kids. You go into a school area that sucks, then I mean your kids' education sucks. By the time they go to college, they don't have a one leg up for all the kids in school. I knew this guy. I was talking to him, and he was saying that about his daughter going into college. His daughter went to this, nice school, pre- pretty excellent, and she was one of the top kids at the school, say the least. Like it was between her and probably five more kids. They were battling for valedictorian to a degree, and she didn't get it, but she was like in the top five running for that spot. And that's to say the least. I mean, all these kids, their grades were almost close, but it was at ease to her, no problem. But when she got to college, the same way she was running around with ease in high school, there were people in college doing the same thing. But the difference with her was she had to put in the work then. She was like, man, this certain things are demanding now. So she had to put in the work. And when it come down to it, man, just saying the least, man. When you get married, for the people that want to get married, you don't have to get married. It's a choice. But for the ones that want to get married, look at the person and look at the way they carry themselves on how you potentially think they would raise kids. Because a lot of people don't get married for the kids. So if you want kids, you literally got to get married for your kids. Whether it be a man, see how that man is around nieces and nephews and stuff to a degree. So you can say, okay, well, if she's this type of way, maybe she'll do this with my kids. Same thing with that man. Women, look at this guy, see how he is around his nieces and nephew, even the brothers, say the least. Some people still have young brothers that, are they buying stuff for them? Are they, taking them out for their birthday or something? You know, see what type of person there is outside of their, vanity, looks, and all this stuff to see, will they be a good dad? Will they be a good mom? You know, that actually helps. You know, running into a situation to where just rolling the dice and you get that woman, she has a child, and if it's a boy, she's talking to him like a man, cussing him out and all that. You didn't even know this was going to happen because you didn't prepare yourself for it. You know, you didn't have the conversation if we have kids with that. You guys were living in the moment, having sex, going crazy, then all of a sudden the kid came, and now she's this whole Viking. How you gonna deal with that? You know, same thing when it applies to the woman. You sitting there having fun, going crazy, and this guy comes, and then when you have a kid, he's literally beating that kid for every single thing, like a dog. Oh, you peed on the carpet. Ah, whooping. Oh, you waste food on the table. Oh, you getting a whooping. And I'm talking about literally like young child. This is a process where they're learning. You know, 2 to 3, and they just beat them for everything. But the point of it is, that's what you got yourself into. You didn't have the talks about kids because you was living in the moment with that person. Ultimately, that pushes divorce rates up. You know, we say people that the women get the divorces. I always say cause and effect. There's a reason why most women divorce. There's a reason why most men divorce. To a degree, back in the day, it was really no divorce. When you got married, you just toughed it out. You literally had old people that couldn't stand each other. But when it came down to it, you better not mess with them. A dude back in the day, like, he didn't like his wife and his wife didn't like him. But at the same time, they knew they had to raise them kids. They knew they had to do what's best for each other because nobody had their back. It was an unspoken rule. What's the first rule about Fight Club? It was an unspoken rule. And it got to the point where nowadays, a lot of people, it's like, what's going on? We don't have no communication, no love, no nothing. I just want to be the vanity of social media has put people to act like they want to be better or stunt to be better, but they just not better. This man said this and I was laughing when I heard it. He said the microwave was the worst invention in history. It gave everybody a mindset to have things instantly. You know, instant. I mean, like instant potatoes, instant oatmeal. It's more or less like they want it quick. They want it now. The validation too. And like I keep saying, it goes back to a mindset. The environment that you stay in, you adhere to the mindset. If everybody's out there shooting and killing and robbing, what are you gonna do? Shoot, kill, and rob? No, you don't have to. You literally don't have to. You can give me every excuse why you didn't go to college, but to an extent, you can't blame your parents because you're 18. Once you turn 18, you can go down there and sign for yourself to go to college. Yeah, they're gonna go off the benefits of, what your parents did, their work history and stuff, but you don't need them to go to college at 18. You fill out college applications yourself. You take out a loan yourself. That's literally one of the you you can have $1 million in debt from student loans. That's how real it gets out here. There was a guy who went on Dave Ramsey. This guy had over $1 million in debt. He's a school teacher trying to be a doctor. He failed the exam 3 times. He said he's gonna study more and go back at it again his fourth time. This guy gonna have like $1.2 million in student loan debt, but he keeps going. He took the degrees and courses that he had. It qualified him to be a school teacher. He's making a little money, and he's gonna turn around and go back and take the test. He has a different mindset. He wants to reach his goal. Everybody's telling the man just stop. No, nah. His mindset is to become a doctor. See, I mean, how many people will have that level of commitment, failing upon failing upon failing? And like I said, it just come down to even with you being born in your environment, like you gotta do better. Get outside of that range. A lot of people think that they're forced to, live this hood life and be hood rich. No, I know guys that grew up in the hood, went and got an apartment in the hood, and was literally talking to a couple of people, and it was this one set of apartments I stayed in, and it was probably like a handful of the guys out there. We all talk with each other every once in a while when we see each other, throwing the trash. I'm outside with the kids, and the guys out there they walking their dog or something like that. One dude, he was single. All he did was work, and we started talking one time because I seen him, And he was like, "What's going on, man?" Talk to him every once in a while. We say, "Hey," and see me wearing my little sports hats and stuff. And so he's, "Oh, you like the Falcons, this and that." Started talking a little bit, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you know, see with your kids and stuff like that, and this and that." He's like, "Yeah, man, all I do is work, come home, work, come home. I don't even party no more, man. I'm trying to save enough money to get out of these apartments, and the only way I can do that is have tunnel vision, man. I'm not trying to do nothing else but maintain this status I want for myself to do better." He's like, "Man, I grew up so bad, man. Mom had like 9 kids. I was the middle kid, so I didn't hardly get anything. And went off to college, did my thing. Luckily, I got a job land right after I got out of college, found these apartments. Man, I'm trying to rock this thing out for another year or two. And man, I got so much money saved up. It's been enough money to put down on the house, closing and everything. Did all my research on it. It's like, man, I'm moving into a nice area, man. It's not that far from where I used to stay, but it's gonna be a nice area." He's like, "I might be able to get, a couple of my siblings to come stay with me and help them out." But he was like, "Man, right now, I'm just doing it on my own. I don't want nobody around me because I don't want them to, break up my progress. Not trying to get no chick, none of that. Cool, no problem." Talk to the other guy. Same thing with him. Him and his girl. They was in apartments. They was like, "Yeah, man, trying to get out these apartments, give me a house, man, just me and my girl." And he had a black dude, had a Spanish chick. You know, Same thing with them. They were just, chilling in the apartments, trying to get a house. They was like, "Yeah, these apartments ain't bad, but they ain't that good neither." You know, because you had to sprinkle in every few areas that rough. Like even the apartments that I stayed in, there was this guy was crazy. Like I come out one morning, no, it was the afternoon to take out the trash, and the guy asked me, "Did I call the police on him last night?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "When you came home late, me and my girl was arguing. Did you call the police?" I was like, "Why would I do that? Man, that's y'all business. Y'all was out there arguing and fighting with each other. I ain't got nothing to do with that." He's like, "Oh yeah, somebody did." I said, "Bruh, I'm on the front side of the building, you on the back side. You got 3 other people on this backside. You might want to ask one of them who called the cops on you." And so he's like, "Yeah, man, man, my girl kicked my butt, man. She did this and did that to me." And I'm sitting there just like, "Oh, all right." He's like, "Yeah, man, she rough." And I'm talking, this is a big dude. This dude probably was like 5'3". I mean, I'm sorry, 6'3", like a good 350, so around 350. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "Dude, your chick is 5'2". She probably weighed less than 200, probably by one. This chick was probably like 160, 180. I would give her 180, you know. And she beat him up. Nah, she was just throwing him like a rag doll, and he was just taking it. I mean, hey, that's what it was. So like it, I love it, but like I keep saying, it goes back to the mindset. A lot of those guys I talked to, even I went over to the apartments one time. I think, yeah, because I had my kids, my younger kids, went over to this babysitter that we had over there that was real good. So I went back over to the apartments and asked her, could she babysit my kids, my younger kids now, and everything. And she was like, "No problem." The guy seen me. He was like, "Yeah, man, I know you man, you used to stay over here a long time ago, man." He's like, "Yeah, it done got worse, man. I'm about to leave, man." He's like, "Yeah, but nice seeing you." Funny. That was the only guy I seen for back in the day. But, same thing. I just walk his dog. That was it. Him and I think him, his chick, and kids over there. But then, like I said, it was like sprinkle of guys that we all just talk with each other. The other people didn't even associate with them because we knew the lifestyle they was moving. And, like I said, just the mindset. A lot of people, we want to say that other people are forcing us this way, or our environment, man, we're a product of our environment. Say that to the doctors and the lawyers that came out of the hood. They're a product of our environment too. Say that to the scholars, even, to a degree, people that have done good for themselves. Say that about them too. But man, I'm about to get ready to jump off of here. Dr. Dunbar always say, your mindset determines your altitude. And when it comes down to it, it's literally a level of where do you want to see yourself? That's why I always push Alonzo with life insurance. I'm actually going to drop a video probably this weekend. That's the first thing that I always talk about. If you don't change your mindset, you literally don't have nothing to actually grow on. You can be this hood rich dude, fake it till you make it, stunt for the gram guy. With that mindset, you're only working to get to that goal, to, make a little money, to, floss. And that's all you're doing is steady making a little money to floss. Even if you run into a lot of money to do what you need to do to flex, or probably potentially buy something real instead of flexing, you're not going to know how to deal with it because that mindset, you still in flex and stunt mode. You're not in the process of, gaining and doing better for yourself. But, like always, we here and we gone.